Hello everyone and welcome. So in this video we'll be creating this Eat an Apple from start to finish, step by step. And although this is a very simple network, as you can see, there will be always a chance you can learn a thing or two. So yeah, let's get started. So as always we start with a geometry container. Let's drop a sphere. And we will make it a polygon and a frequency of 30. Now we want to create a mask for the top and bottom part. So for that let's use a point VOP and we will use the relative bounding box and the Y component, so vector to float. And let's check the Y component, and as you can see it's going from the bottom to the top, from 0 to 1, and we want to subtract constant. We want to mirror this effect, so let's subtract 0.5, and now we can absolute those values. So we get something like this. Now we want to extend the range, so let's go with a fit range and say in the source min to 0.33, something like this. Now we want to distort a bit this shape, so for that we will use a turbulence noise, connect the position, and we will make it a sparse convolution and a 3D noise, since we're going to be dealing with vectors. And in this case I want a frequency of 6. And I'm going to offset it, and the amplitude will be really small, so 0.11, something like this. We might increase the turbulence, but that's about it. So now we will clip those polygons around the mask. So for that I'm going to create a rest position, create a angle, and I'm going to say v at b dot y is equal to at cd dot r. So something like this. Now we can clip, and we'll say all primitives and create another rest, and this time extract. So if we delete the attributes and check, so we clipped. Let's see where this is failing. So we have at b dot y, so this should be working. So clip, I might need to adjust, so I'm gonna create first the groups and say 0.04. I'm gonna offset it a little bit, and now it's creating the line. So I created the group so I can split the polygons now. So let's say above plane and create two nulls. So we have both geometries. For this one I just want to subdivide, so when I feed it to the VDB it will be smooth enough, so about 2. And for this one I'm going to group the unshared edges. So unshared edges and convert line to convert those to curves. So unshared and remove unused points and connect paths, so we have a single primitive per curve. Now I'm going to resample at about 0.02 and group the points. So let's say points and unshared and create boundary groups. So we have two groups, one for each curve. And now we can group promote, and we will promote group 0 and group 1 to edges. And now we can poly bridge, and we will bridge the group 0 to group 1. So something like this, and we want to increase the subdivisions, so to about 60, and also play with the thickness ramp. Let's just place a reverse in here and go to the bridge. And under the thickness ramp, so we'll create a point, and let's go with B-spline and move it down and create 2 points in here. Maybe move this up a bit and these extremes. So something like this. As you can see, it's all jacked up, but we don't need to worry about that. Let's just make sure it's fusing at the seam. So let's just fuse and 0.001. So as you can see, it's fusing some points. And now let's get rid of the curves. I have a vex snippet for that, so where is that? Remove curves. Just check for the prim intrinsic closed, and if it's open it will remove the prims, which are the curves. So now we can create an attribute blur, and we will blur it quite a bit. So let's say about 500, and we want to do it in the edge length so we can keep the shape. And now we will create a group for the unshared points and also a mask, so this distance along geometry. Let's select the unshared and go for the mask. Let's see how that looks. So something like this, and we want to change it to parameter, invert the mask and go for 0.1. So something like this. And now let's also create an attribute, and we'll call it inside, so we can target that area after. And let's say 1. So It's similar to the mask, but it encompasses all the geometry. So I believe that's all. Now we can just merge. And let's remove. Let's see how that looks, something like this. And now we will create the VDBs. So VDB from polygons. And you will change it to density. And let's say 0.08 for now. We will increase it in a bit. And since we want different densities for the masks, we will duplicate this one and remove. And let's get the inside, call it inside, and get the mask, and name it mask, and do a VDB merge. I'm just trying to optimize, and in this case we want also to fill the interior and increase the exterior band to 0.1, so quite a bit. And now let's just hide those masks. So I'm gonna say expose, oops, unselected primitives to hide everything else. And now let's create a volume VOP. And if you check, we have the inside and we have the mask. Now let's create a volume VOP. And we will create also turbulence noise. So turbulent noise. Let's connect the position and add it to the density. It won't look like much because we need to multiply it with the mask. So bind mask. So something like this. And we will change the type of noise to sparse convolution noise and repeat it to something like this, and also offset it and change the amplitude to 0.06. And we can even reduce the roughness and the turbulence. So let's just check here. Maybe we want to decrease. So let's actually set the final resolution. So 0.003 and 0.0, let's see, I used the lower one but just to speed up. Now I'm getting these weird results. Let me, I know, I need to fill the interior. And let's use this and increase to 0.1. Yeah, something like this. Now in this middle part I want to stretch a bit the noise. So for that I'm going to duplicate this noise and change the frequency to 5. And now I need to copy this setup from above. So let's go in here and copy this relative bounding box until here. And let's paste it. We can remove this edge because we won't add noise, we just want to mask. Let me find some space. And we'll take the vector, subtract 0.5, the absolute, and use a mix to mix between this noise, which will look like this, so kind of stretch, but I don't like what it does here on the top and bottom part, so I'm going to mix it. So mix this one with this one, and the final result will be multiplied with the mask. And as the mixing factor, I'm going to use this one, but adjust the fit range. So I'm gonna say 0.2, and you can say 0. And let's check the result. So as you can see, we have the other noise in here, but it's stretching over here. So I guess this is done, and now let's move to create a smooth SDF, and we will do just one iteration on the mean curvature flow, and we will get probably a warning because we have different VDBs. So let's go with density, and let's convert to polygons. And we still get a pretty sharp transition. I mean, we could increase. It's already pretty good, so let's keep going. Now let's do an attribute from volume. And let's name it inside and inside. So we have the mask, as you can see. And now let's create this indentation on the top. Let's keep the bottom like that. So let's do a remesh, and I'm going to remesh it about 0.08. And I'm gonna also use a lattice to deform the shape. So let's create a lattice. This will go in here, the rest position. Let's create an edit and place it in here and change these to points. It will load for a bit. And we need to change some things in here. Let's first do some edits. So I'm gonna select this tool and go over to points and unlock the selection. I'm gonna pick the middle point, let's say is this one, and press T for the move tool, increase the soft radius, and maybe not so much, something like this. And now I'm gonna pick these points and move them up, so maybe reduce the radius, move them up, so something like this. Let's check the lattice, create a null, and it's not changing much because we need to change the settings in here and also the radius, which is too much now. So let's change it to 0.1. We got something. Maybe we need to move those points down a bit. So more like this. Now as you can see it's pretty fast. And we got something. We can do the same on the bottom, but I'm gonna leave it up to you. And now it's pretty simple. We just need to create a group. First of all, let's create an attribute blur and do it on the inside. Let's say 5. Let's see how that looks. And create a color. Let's pick a red color and create another one, and yellowish tone, something like this, and create what's in the inside. So and go for points, say 0.5, 0.6. So there we have the colors, and we can target that same attribute for materials. And now let's come in here and select, maybe this is not so in the middle, but okay, let's forget about that. Now it's not even properly set. So I'm having trouble selecting the middle point, something like this. Let's create a line along the z-axis, or along the y, can keep along the y, copy the points, and the target point will be group 2, and this will copy along the z-axis, so we can just attribute it just float vector and place it in here to reset the normals. And we will also decrease the length to 0.15 and say 20 points. I'm just trying to create the stem just quickly. And let's press enter, press B and bend it. Keep pressing B. Now it's bending. Let's bend it this direction. So I actually want to bend it on to the top. So something like this, and maybe, let's see, yeah, this is correct. Now I can attribute delete all the attributes, and create a sweep round tube. Let's check this, control click. I'm going to decrease this, create a grid, increase the subdivisions, apply scale, and let's go with B-spline. Maybe increase this and decrease the roundness. And now it's too much. We just need to increase this one. So something like this. And let's create some color in here. And finally select both and merge it. So yeah guys, that was it. Hopefully you learn a new trick or two, and make sure to check out my Patreon, where you can find exclusive courses, exclusive tutorials, and all the project files from my videos, including this one. So if you feel like supporting me over there, it will be nice. And anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.